hearsay exception allows the statements made by children to credible adults in child abuse cases to be admitted as evidence in court proceedings. That's not normally allowed. Hearsay is not normally allowed in court, but there are exceptions that many states have passed statutes that do allow the out of court statements by children to be admitted as evidence. One example of that is in the case of Ohio, where the boyfriend was looking after the 3-year-old boy and the 18-month-old girl. The 3-year-old boy went to school, and while at school, a school teacher noticed bruising on the child and asked the child what happened. The child disclosed that the boyfriend had abused him. Well, the next day, social workers went to the house, removed the children. Child abuse case started. The testimony, the disclosure that that child gave to that teacher was allowable and admitted as evidence under the hearsay exception. That was challenged, and the appellate court went all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court upheld the Ohio hearsay statute by a vote of 9-0. A unanimous decision said that it's allowable that states can pass statutes that allow the statements of children to credible adults to be admitted as evidence. That's what we hope Kentucky also passes this year.
Hi, I'm Kim, and I have temporary custody of my grandchildren. Of these two, they've been with me for over 3 years. Now, I'm not in the habit of asking for help, so this is difficult, but it's important. And I imagine you should know something about me since I'm here asking you for help. My husband and I, we raised 4 kids. We're middle class, we both work, we have college degrees. We put braces on kids' teeth. We got them involved in sports and band. They made good grades. We sent kids to college. We were by no means perfect, but we were involved parents. And now we're doing it again, but hopefully this time with a bit more wisdom. Not all relatives keeping children out of foster care need help. But for those who do, we need help fast. Our savings is depleted. Kinship care and child care assistance would guarantee that we can keep these children as long as needed and would alleviate the ton of anxiety that hangs over our home. If you're curious about people like me, if you want to know more, please ask. Please bring us into the process, into the conversation. We don't want to pick the state's pocket. We just want to do right by these kids. Grandmothers are fierce, and we want to be an ally to policymakers and decision makers, not an adversary.
Tribunals for educators were established by law in 1990 through the Kentucky Education Reform Act. The types of terminations basically fall into 2 categories. So one would be for misconduct and the other would be for poor performance. Those that are misconduct include things like inappropriate interaction with students, other kinds of substance abuse, and those kind of things, misconduct. That's the 90%. The other 10% is for poor performance. So, what's the result since 1990 of all of the tribunals that have ever occurred? Over 72% of those educators, which I would argue are the worst of the worst, are reinstated. Superintendents exercising their authority to, not only get the right people on the bus, but the wrong people off the bus. The process is just not working with these type of results, and therefore change in the tribunal process should occur.
Recently, I've noticed how much tobacco is used among my peers and members in my community, and it's come to my attention how dangerous it is and that there's a simple solution for the problem. Today I'm going to be discussing with you how an increased tax by $1 could save lives and bring more money to the state of Kentucky. Evidence shows that increasing the tobacco tax is one of the most effective ways to stop smoking. When prices go up, fewer kids smoke and more smokers quit. This would lead to improved health and lower healthcare costs, as well as increased revenue for Kentucky. Our current tax rate of 60 cents is low when you compare it to our national average, even among other states surrounding us. An increase of $1 a pack would still mean Kentucky's tax is lower than the current national average of $1.71 a pack. $1 per pack increase is projected to raise $266.24 million in annual revenue for Kentucky. So why $1? Well, any tax lower than $1 is simply a tax, not a health measure. This is because the tobacco industry can easily offset the impact of such increases with temporary price cuts, coupons, and other promotional discounting. So now that you know just how much positive change we can bring about, I hope that you rally behind me in supporting the increased tobacco tax.